Your Savior, I'm your Savior. The team of Andy Steele and Owen Richards, your Savior.
The Saviours of Destiny, Owen Richards and the real deal Andy Steele making their entrance through the crowd, which is an interesting decision. They're not exactly fan favourites, but unfortunately, if you are a fan of Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, it's getting hard. As I was saying, it's harder to argue that exact point that Owen Richards just made into the camera. It's hard to argue against them being the #1 tag team in Irish wrestling today. They're undefeated, they've won gold down in Cork, they've beaten team after team after team, and they've gotten better and better with each match. And they learn from match to match, and that's what makes the Saviours of Destiny such a threat. They have that chemistry, they know each other very well, but it's the fact that they improve and they grow with each victory, and I would say each defeat, but there isn't any. And tonight is going to be their toughest test as they take on a team making their Fight Factory Pro Wrestling debut in Lykos Gym.
And introducing their opponents.
And this is a team that needs no introduction. Lykos Gym, Kid Lykos and Kid Lykos 2. Of course, Kid Lykos, the original, one of the pioneers of the British wrestling scene. Seen success with CCK, seen success as a singles wrestler. But this tag team here, Lykos Gym, former Progress Tag Team Champions. And it was a title they won very, very early on in their tag team run together. So they've already achieved a lot as it is. They've already faced a lot of the best teams in Europe as it is. They've still got a long way to go, but they haven't faced the Saviours of Destiny, and this is going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be an interesting test for the Saviours themselves, but also it's going to be interesting to see how Lykos Gym measure up stylistically. Of course, Lykos Gym, they have their speed, they have their quickness. The Saviours of Destiny rely more on power and strength typically. We're seeing a lot of mind games to open up this exchange. Andy Steele somewhat hesitant to get involved. The Saviours of Destiny, as confident as they are, and trust me, they don't lack confidence, but they are definitely aware of the magnitude of this opportunity. This is one of their first few times against big name international acts, and they want to be Ireland's #1 tag team, and in order to do that they have to be one of Europe's #1 tag teams as well. They have to beat teams like Lykos Gym, but of course that is easier said than done. Andy Steele looks like he's going to be starting here, and it's an interesting one. Andy Steele is the wrestler who everybody saw as somebody with all the tools physically that's required to get to wherever it is he wants to go. He has the strength, the power, but also the agility, the quickness. His movements are excellent, his precision, his accuracy. I expect to see a lot of spinning back kicks. Yeah, it's just something that he does really, really well. But what Andy Steele needed was somebody to really sort out the mental side of things. Somebody to mentor him, somebody to give him that confidence, that balance, that structure. And Owen Richards was that man. He has well, what he would describe as saved Andy Steele's destiny. But will that lead to tag team success? We'll wait and see. They're off to a very good start. But Andy Steele learning firsthand about the quickness of Lykos. Oh, and Lykos rolling up Andy Steele. That would be an absolute nightmare. If Andy Steele managed to get pinned that early on, as our DJ has a bit of a nightmare. Andy Steele, I mean, but that is the thing. Lykos possess that threat. They go for those quick pinning attempts, those quick pinning combinations. They can catch you out of absolutely nowhere. And if they catch Andy Steele and they catch Owen Richards, that's the Saviours of Destiny back to square one. That is all their confidence and everything they've built up to this point gone. So even though there's no gold on the line, there's no belts up for grabs, it means a lot, not just in terms of pride, but in terms of what they've built thus far and in terms of their trajectory. But they know that they would have had plenty of Owen Richards seminars and discussions before preparing for this match. They know what it means, and Kid Lykos, the second with a drop kick. Fans, of course, very impressed with that one. They really are crowd pleasers, Lykos Gym. They are a team that don't just win their fights, but win it in very exciting, highlight reel-esque fashion. And that is, of course, going to be something that Saviours of Destiny have to deal with. And Owen Richards is now in. We're going to see what he can do, but Lykos too, holding him down, and in comes Lykos. Owen Richards with a knee to the midsection. Already we're seeing the power advantage that Owen Richards possesses as he slows the pace down, and that's going to be key for the Saviours of Destiny. Controlling the pace of this fight, making Lykos Gym fight their fight. And again, another perfect example of that, a shoulder tackle as Owen Richards plays to the crowd. The Saviours of Destiny aren't fazed by the negative reactions of the fans. In fact, if anything, they almost feed off it. The fans will try and get into the heads of Owen Richards, but at the end of the day, there's almost a lack of pressure when the fans aren't cheering you on, they aren't rooting for you. Of course, that is an asset to have if you're a wrestler who the fans love and you're popular and you're getting, you know, that sort of you're getting the extra support that can really help you dig deep when you need to. But when you're the Saviours of Destiny and the fans aren't rooting for you, there's no fear of letting anybody down, because there's nobody in this venue right now that wants the Saviours of Destiny to win this fight. Let's be honest. But with that comes a lack of pressure, and allows the Saviours of Destiny to focus at the task at hand, which at this case for Owen Richards is escaping this headlock. And you can see Owen Richards, he's trying to lift Lykos, but Lykos very well countering and using his speed to his advantage. Owen Richards really doing his best to deal with what Lykos is throwing at him. But now Lykos Gym, they have Owen Richards right where they want him, in their own corner, as Foxy is distracted, making sure that Andy Steele stays in his own corner. And Lykos Gym with that excellent teamwork, and that's really going to be key for both teams here, working together, working as a unit. In the defense of the Saviours, that's something that they do very well too. We haven't seen it at this early stage, but it's something that they excel in. And Kid Lykos, I'll let that chop speak for itself. You know, Lykos isn't the biggest, he isn't the strongest physically, but his chops really are up there with anyone. I'll stay silent for this part. And the noise of it just reverberates around the Fight Factory. Now Lykos is tagged in, going up to Andy Steele, taunting Andy Steele. Very smart. That's the experience advantage of Lykos. And you can see him there while Foxy's back his turn, taking away the turnbuckle pad and using it as a weapon on the back of Owen Richards. Experience and fight IQ and being aware of where the ref is at all times. That's very, very important, and it's something that Lykos has nailed down. It's the sort of thing you really only learn with experience. As Owen Richards is in the corner getting stomped by Lykos. as the crowd count along. And Andy Steele in the back, he tried to run in and make a save, but Lykos giving him the same treatment. And now both of the Saviours are down in their respective corner. No. Can't do that to Foxy. That'll end in a disqualification. That'll be the match over before it's even started. And now he's... Lykos, look, he's full of energy. He's full of energy and he needs to really expend that energy, but he should have been focusing on the Saviours. So you give the Saviours of Destiny 1 millisecond of an opportunity, they will take it without asking for a second chance. They will take it immediately. And you can see them now fighting on the outside. Foxy needs to keep a close eye, make sure he keeps things under control. I've no doubt that he will. This is turning into a bit of an all-out brawl rather than a technical wrestling contest, but the Saviours of Destiny won't mind. They're in their element. They can brawl when they need to brawl. They can fight when they need to fight. And out amongst the fans like this, it suits them perfectly. But Lykos to the back of Andy Steele's head, and Owen Richards catching Lykos and throwing him back into the ring in between the ropes. So he does the same with Lykos too, except Lykos too lands on the apron off the middle rope. A moonsault wipes out both of the Saviours. And that really is the weapon in the arsenal of Lykos gym that you won't see from the Saviours. Typically the Saviours are quite smart and quite reserved with their movements. They won't typically take risks such as moonsaults off the middle rope, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They call it high risk for a reason. And oh, a lariat! Low risk, but very high reward. That lariat from Owen Richards, putting his strength and power on show for everyone to see there, and taking out Lykos too. Tagging in Andy Steele, and now this is where the Saviours will excel. Keeping Lykos in the corner of the Saviours. Andy Steele. Oh, and you could hear that kick. Andy Steele's kick. His kicks are just such a signature of his moveset right now. It's the one thing he does really well, better than anybody else here in Fight Factory, at a running knee into the face of Lykos. And Lykos kicks out at 2, but you can see Lykos too was quick to run in there and break that up if he needed to, because even he thought there was a slight chance that that could have been it. And Andy Steele, well, Owen Richards has Lykos up, hits him with the leg drop. And again, that's an example of the double team movements that we see from the Saviours. As we have our audio issues, our technical issues, the Saviours need to be careful not to worry about that and focus on the task at hand, which they're doing great. And that's excellent work from Owen Richards, eliminating Lykos' partner, cutting off the tag before it has any chance to develop, knocking the partner off the apron. And the Saviours are really getting into their groove right now. Really, and you can see Owen Richards putting his foot onto the top turnbuckle, and Andy Steele ramming the head of Lykos into that boot. Could be going for it again by the looks of things, but Lykos reverses it, and it's Andy Steele sending to the boot instead. And this is an opening here for Lykos to make the tag. Owen Richards comes in from behind and cuts off the tag. It's not a popular move, but it is a smart one. It's effective. And Lykos too is going to have to wait that little bit longer if he wants to get that tag. Owen Richards throwing Lykos into the corner, tags in Andy Steele. Andy Steele comes in, and again, you can see Foxy on his count to 5. Of course, Owen Richards needs to be careful not to get himself disqualified. The Saviours are the sort of team that will take as much of that 5 count as they can, but Lykos at the minute raining down the fists to the head of Andy Steele, but Andy Steele counters it. And Lykos up onto the middle rope, up onto the top turnbuckle, and rolls through and tags in Lykos 2. Excellent movement, and Lykos 2 off the middle rope with a moonsault, wiping out Saviours of Destiny. And just like that, momentum changes. Momentum swings in the favour of Lykos Jim, and the forearms to Andy Steele are rocking Andy Steele. And he rolls up. This could be it. No, he rolls through. Oh! Through the middle rope. Lykos diving onto Owen Richards, taking him out. But now Andy Steele, he's in a position he doesn't want to be in. This could be it. Andy Steele kicks out at 2. And that is why Lykos Gym are one of the best tag teams in Europe today, because in the blink of an eye they can completely switch the direction that the match is heading in, as Lykos goes for the brainbuster. But Andy Steele using that strength to keep things on the ground, keep all of their feet on the floor. And Andy Steele now has Lykos up. Lykos stands on his feet, throws Andy Steele into the ropes, and a super kick. Andy Steele looks to be a bit dazed, looks to be a bit rocked. Lykos goes to kick. It's caught in an enziguri. And the original Lykos from behind. And this is just Lykos Gym at their absolute best. It's not enough to put Andy Steele away, but you know, how do you counter that? When you've got two wrestlers working together so well, that are so quick and know each other inside and out, how do you even project what they're going to do next? And even if you know what they're going to do next, how do you counter it? But Andy Steele countering both of those moves into the corner, but Lykos knocks Owen Richards off the apron, and now Lykos 2 with a forearm to Andy Steele. Owen Richards. Oh, he has Lykos up, and great move from the Saviours of Destiny there. The Bulldog and a leg drop to the back of the head, which is arguably a bit more dangerous than a standard leg drop, but it's not enough to put Lykos away. But it's very interesting to see the clash of styles between the Saviours and Lykos Gym. Andy Steele, that's what I'm talking about. The spinning back kick. It's not just the power behind that, it's the precision and the accuracy. As Owen Richards lifts up Lykos with the sit-out powerbomb. This could be it. No, it's broken up in 2. And Andy Steele, he's claiming that it's over. Lykos Gym have proven that they're a very difficult outfit to put away. You really have to throw everything at them, and Lykos 2 saving his partner, dragging him back to his feet. And now his partner's punching Andy Steele, and Andy Steele's punching back, and now Lykos 2 is punching Owen Richards. But Owen Richards, one strike sends Lykos 2. It just dazes him and rocks him, and that's the strength that he has. But now we're seeing both teams exchanging strikes, exchanging punches and kicks. Andy Steele again with a spinning back kick, but a super kick from Lykos 2. And off the middle rope, he's caught by Owen Richards, and Owen Richards and Andy Steele, they just work so well together. But off the top rope goes Kid Lykos. And Kid Lykos throwing Andy Steele into the corner, running in. Andy Steele counters it with a boot to the head. And Lykos 2 off the middle rope. How impressive is that from Lykos 2? Still an incredibly young wrestler, only 20 years of age. And he's pulling off moves like that against Andy Steele. Both teams doing everything they can to get back up to their feet. Of course, I'm sure both of them would relish a well-earned rest at this stage, but the fight is far from over. And Andy Steele is tagged in. He walks over to Lykos, who punches him in the midsection multiple times. Andy Steele struggling to get any moves going. A flying knee. Andy Steele could be about to get brainbustered here. And instead, Andy Steele now punches in the midsection. And he's lifted up. And Owen Richards is thrown over the top rope. He's eliminated from the equation. A kick from Lykos is countered. And he's slammed onto the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring. Andy Steele with the head kick to Lykos 2. Now he's calling for the brainbuster. But he's rolled up. 1. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. He kicks out at 2 and a spinning back kick. And Lykos too, looks like he's out. Owen, Richards and Andy Steele, could they be going for it? The call to action, they hit it to perfection. And that's it, the Saviours of Destiny with their biggest win.
The Saviours of Destiny!
Well, that is no doubt the Saviours of Destiny's biggest win so far in their tag team career. They've taken on one of the best tag teams in Europe and they've beaten them. You know, it was a hard fought fight, but they've beaten them fair and square, whether the fans like to admit it or not. There was no interference required, no third parties. That was all the Saviours of Destiny. That was all Owen, Richards and Andy Steele. And it makes you wonder, when all is said and done, where does the future of the Saviours of Destiny lie? Will they go on to win gold, perhaps in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling? Will they remain undefeated for a fair bit of time? It does look like, again, whether you like to admit it or not, that that's the direction that we're heading in. The Saviours of Destiny potentially being undefeated if they can keep this form up for the rest of the year. A horrible thought, but a realistic one nonetheless. A great performance from the Saviours of Destiny, and we will see what lies in store for them at the next show.